Hey, what is up guys, GuitarRock here, welcome back to another Chaos Zero Nightmare video. Alright, let's talk about rerolling. In this particular game, as you can see, the game is going to be unlocked in about 8 hours as of the time of me recording this video. As someone that did play the beta a little bit, alright, so not a little bit, actually quite a lot, right, because I did basically got into the beta and these are the characters that I have. So I basically have a little bit of insight into which characters are broken back then. However, with the beta releasing soon, they are modifying some of the character's skills. For example, Khalid right here, she's no longer that strong. So that's going to be a little bit unfortunate. So I'll be using a Pretwone's website right here as a reference. Alright, so they don't have a tier list officially just yet because a lot of the characters are going to have their skills reworked from the CBT. Alright, some of them have a different skill kit. Like I mentioned, Khalid and a few others, right? Also, there are some systems that are not available in the beta, right? The artifact system, that's going to be something. So make sure that you guys take everything you see and hear here with a grain of salt. So hopefully, I'll be able to give you guys a little bit of idea into which characters are going to be the best one to reroll for. Right now, if you want to play the game on PC, you have to use this thing called Stove Launcher. Now, this is where rerolling is going to come in. Now, from what I gathered, Stove Launcher, apparently a lot of players are having difficulty or issues installing the particular game. Even for me right now, I don't know why, but this is a little bit weird that the font is extremely big. I think it's like I can't make it run in windowed mode, so it is going to be a little bit messed up right there. Now, will you be able to reroll on Stove Launcher or on the PC client? Now, I'm not 100% certain that you can, but right now you can see if you are able to log into the game, you should be able to basically press the reset server, and that should reset your progress regardless of where you're playing this from. Now, regardless if you can reset your account or reset the server, right here you can see, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. So that's going to be something that you can consider. However, I would highly recommend you guys to play the game using LD Player, which is a sponsor for today's video. So I will talk a little bit more about LD Player. As you can see, right now I have this running on my LD Player right now, right? So this is going to be Chaos Zero Nightmare on LD Player and it seems to work just fine. I've installed it right there. And inside this particular LD player or an emulator, you can see it is going to allow you to use guest account, or if you want to, you can sign with email. I think with that, it's going to make it much easier for you to reroll because you are able to do salted method most likely, and then you can basically log into multiple different emails. I think it's going to be easier if you need to switch between accounts as well. Now, for those of you who are not aware already, LD Player is a Android emulator, alright, that allows you to play any of these Android iOS games on your PC. Very smooth, very fluid, and if you want to, you can even do multi-instance rerolling. Alright, you can basically clone the instance that you have after you download the update so that you can run multiple instances of the game. Basically, you can run more than one account if you want to, right? If you run the PC client using the Stove Launcher, you probably can only play one account. Now, most people are going to just play one account, I get it, but if you're a hardcore reroller, then you want to consider multiple instances and then making multiple different accounts so that you can make your reroll faster. So that's going to be something to consider. Now, why is this important? Now, based on my experience in the CBT or closed beta test, as you can see, this is going to be the footage right there. Now, I'm not too sure if they are going to change how it works, but you're not allowed to skip the story. Now, I know that's going to be a little bit frustrating for some people who wants to reroll, but you can see right here, you are forced to play through the tutorial, and all of these things right here, the conversations in the early on, you cannot skip it. You can fast forward it, but there's no way to just outright skip it. So that's going to be something to consider. So multi-instance manager from something like LD Player is going to help you in that regard. So I'll have my link in the description below if you guys want to download LD Player and try it out. Now, from what I gather, there's not much emulators that could run this. LD Player is going to be one of the few emulator that could run Chaos Zero Nightmare smoothly. So that's going to be something that we'll have to experiment with it a little bit. Basically, you just want to play through the tutorial, alright? You just play through this entire thing, alright? So I'm going to fast forward a little bit. This is this will take about I would say like 15 to 20 minutes. So once you reach like the end right here, you're gonna unlock the lobby, right? So this is going to be how it looks like, and then you will be able to do the thing called rescue right here, and then you can basically access your mailbox. So this is how it looks like in the closed beta test in the CBT, right? So you can see upon 30 rescues, you'll be guaranteed a standard 5-star combatant. Now I'm not sure if they're going to change the numbers here. Again, take everything you see here with a grain of salt. Certain things like the rates, the amount of pulls, you know, it's going to change a little bit, right? But you are going to get at least 20 pulls as far as I know. They are giving you some bonuses as well. I saw in the social media, you might get up to 25 or even 30 pulls. Now, this is going to be the beginner banner, and you are going to get you know, guaranteed 5-star partner within the next 50 rescue. Now this particular banner has a 20% discount, so it's actually like 40 pulls, right, in general. So this is going to be where, if you want to, you can basically try to do your rolls right here, right? Now the thing is, beginner banner is going to be kind of good to roll, and I'm not sure if there's going to be a red art banner, but this is going to be, for in most cases, you want to be rolling right here. Now, who are the best characters for you to obtain? So let's talk a little bit more about this. Now, during the closed beta test, the CBT, Khalid is one of the better characters. She is insane. She's like a beast. She's so strong. She's like a defense-based DPS character that do AoE damage, and she's just very, very useful in terms of helping you shield the characters overall, helping the team survive, and also doing a bunch of damage. She's like a beast. She's like a monster. However, I saw with the most recent trailer that they've released on the official channel, it seems like her skills got reworked a little bit, right? So you can see some of the skills here. This is going to be the recent trailer for Khalid as a whole. They have modified her a little bit, and I think she now is a better shielder at the expense of doing less damage overall, it seems like. So again, we'll have to test this when she comes out. That's going to be something that we won't really know until the game goes live, right? So but right now, I do expect that, because in the CBT, in the closed beta, Khalid is extremely broken. She's like insane. I was using her side by side comparable to Renoa, and Renoa is a single target DPS character, and she's just straight up way stronger than her. I was expecting her to get nerfed. So yeah, that's inevitable in the case. So hopefully the balancing is gonna work somewhat in her favor. But still, if you're trying to get like a good shielder, I highly recommend her. As you can see, her damage is going to be quite high right there alongside with her utility. Her shielding is going to be somewhere in the 3 out of 5, is like half-half. She's one of the 2 5-star shielder that you can obtain, right? Khalid is going to be one, the other one is going to be Magna. Now Magna is going to specialize in doing more shields, but her damage is going to be a little bit lacking. I do think that Khalid is going to be a better character, and I think she's going to be a solid one for any rerollers to start their account with. Now, DPS characters are going to be important, but I think with having at least one shielder in your team, that's going to ensure that your characters can pretty much survive, right? Because sometimes if you die, you have to restart the entire run, because this is like a roguelike mode, and if you guys are not aware already, that's going to be the runs are going to last quite a number of journey, right? You're going to last about 30 to 40 minutes per run. Sometimes if you die halfway or characters die halfway, that's going to be a big brutal one. Having your character survive, I think, is going to be quite important to ensure the proper survivability, right? Of course, it depends on what materials or weapons or equipments you gather along the way as well, but that's one thing to consider. Now with that, let's talk about the DPS characters then, because if you guys are not aware, this is going to be the one that's filled with most cast of characters. Now I personally did not have any experience with quite a number of these, but from what I gather, Kayron is going to be one of the stronger, you know, DPS character. Alright, he has very good single target and AoE damage potential. If you are trying to get like a good solid DPS in the start, then probably Kayron is going to be one of the better one. The one that I can vouch for and I've used personally in the CBT is going to be Renoa and of course Maylin. Now both Renoa and Maylin, I feel like they are both going to excel in their particular area, but apparently a lot of players seem to favor Maylin a little bit more in terms of her self-card draw and of course AP cost reductions. She also has incredible self-buffing capabilities that should be considered as well. Now their playstyle are both quite different. I feel like Renoa or Maylin, either one of them is going to be just fine, right? So considering that both these characters are really top tier DPS, I would say that, you know, all of these are going to be very good. As you can see, the other one is going to be Rin. Apparently she's also going to have a very high single target damage, but for Rin, she does not have any AoE cards as well, so that's going to be something to consider, right? So none of these characters here, Renoa, Maylin and Rin, none of them excel in AoE. So I feel like that's where Kayron comes in. If you want something that's much more balanced, a character that's good in single target and AoE damage, then Kayron is going to be better in that particular case. Out of all the 5-star DPS characters, you can see Kayron is the only one with high AoE damage. Now, if you are going to reroll for, like I mentioned, Khalid right here, she does have decent AoE as well. So maybe you can get away with, you know, pairing her with Renoa or Meilin. Alright, so therefore you get like both AoE and single target, so you don't have to worry too much about that overall, right? But it seems like the sentiment here for most players is to go with Kayron. He is going to be one of the top DPS by the recommendation upon the CBT. Now unless the kit is going to be modified a lot, then that's going to be something that we'll have to witness later on, right? But for now, it seems like Kayron, Meilin, or Renoa, these three is going to be my personal top picks. Now right here in the Prewen guide, they do recommend Kalib and Meilin as well. So it seems like, yeah, that's going to be how it is. I think both of these characters are going to form a perfect synergy within each other, because you got single target, you got AoE covered, and then the rest of these, you know, Hugo is going to be quite good as well from what I gather, but I'm not too familiar with him. One thing that I'm quite surprised is they are putting Orlia at a lower reroll value. Now mostly here is because she requires multiple turns to gain value due to the nature of her retain strategy. So that's going to be something that you have to consider as well if you want to go for Orlia. Apparently she's not going to be one of the recommendations to obtain early on. So with that, those are going to be the ones. So make sure you guys pay attention to the characters. Ideally, if you can, you want to get at least 2 5-star. Now if you want to go super crazy, you are running it on LD player multi-instance, then maybe you can consider, you know, getting 3 5-star. That could be something that's possible as well, right? So make sure you guys reroll in the beginners banner. Alright, if you can get more than 1 5-star, that would be ideal. If you can't, then that's fine too. Just go with Kalib. I think she's going to be a very solid one to get you a decent head start, right? Alright, so with that, I'll see you guys in the official server opening whenever it comes out. So that's going to be when I'll be live streaming. So make sure you guys stay tuned. With that, I'll see you guys again very soon. Take care, subscribe, give this video a like. Have a nice day. Goodbye.